Welcome back to the Fish Tank right here on the Miami Dolphins Podcast Network. Seth Levitt, DJ Preach is in the back, and the toughest podcaster Dan Marino has ever played with, my man, OJ McDuffie Juice.
Man, you always go to that. I like that, man. What's good, man?
I mean, how can you ever go wrong
right,
if you reference a Dan Marino quote?
I will take it all day, every day, right? You know, I'm always feeling good when we're talking about my side of football.
It is your side of the football.
My side of football all day, every day.
But it's where the play starts.
Right.
QB1, Tua Tagovailoa. Welcome to the Fish Tank.
Thank you guys for having me.
Man, welcome, man. Hey, I'm going to tell you this, Big Seth, man. You know, we've got a lot to get to with Tua.
Yeah.
Right?
In a short period of time.
In a short period of time. But I'm still riding the wave of his event this past weekend.
Man, it was a great event.
I'm going to tell you what, man. How much fun did we have at Tua's Luau, you know, for the Tua Foundation this past weekend?
I had a blast.
I had a great time. But I'm going to tell you what. I want to know this, Tua. How did you get Coach up on stage, man? How the heck did you get him up there? He killed it up there, man. It was like, I mean, that was like, I've been around the league for a long time. I just have never seen a head man get up there and support one of his great teammates or one of his great players the way he did, man. How'd you get Coach up there?
I guess it's a testament to his personality. All he did was have the guys go out into the crowd and try to pick whoever wanted to come up. Obviously, we wanted Coach to be up there. If he declined, we weren't going to force the issue, but Coach wanted to go up there, and I mean, I thought that was the coolest thing. I've never seen that before as well, so that was super.
Right,
cool.
You went to Alabama. Would Nick get up there? Nick
Nick.
Coach Saban wouldn't do that.
Nick would look at the guy and just be like, no.
No, that's cool, man. That's good stuff, man. The only thing I was worried about, though, is, you had workouts the next day. So, I mean, because you had Coach up there, he didn't make you guys do any extra 110s or gases or anything after that, did he?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Right. That's of course. Just from getting to know Coach as a person, getting to hang out with him and have some conversations with him. He is who he is. That's just who he is out there. That's the same person he is when it's just me and him talking. And I find that pretty unique, whereas you get brought into this world where you need to be politically correct when the media is talking to you, and then when you're, just with the guys, you talk a different way, and you have two voices sometimes, with your professional voice and then obviously your voice within the building. So the cool thing is that Coach McDaniel is the same all the time.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's great. And it kind of leads me to my next question. You talk about conversations that the two of you have had. The whole world saw this first conversation, right? He's on the plane, he's heading in here to be the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and he picks up the phone, and we see that Tua's on the other end of the phone. And in that 90 seconds of video, which got everybody excited, we really only heard one side of that conversation. We didn't hear everything. And so tell us a little bit about, like, how were you reacting? Did you know that he was going to call? Were you just sitting there and the phone rings and, oh, wow, it's Coach? Or did you even know it was being filmed? And how did that conversation go? And how has it kind of materialized into where you guys are at now?
Yeah, so I never knew that it was being filmed once, or for one. And then I guess second, we were supposed to have a FaceTime call earlier that day. But Coach got caught up in some things, and I was golfing too, so it kind of worked out.
Right.
When I was done golfing, he said, let me know when you're done. So I let him know, and then he told me, like, hey, could we set this time? Because I'm going to be on a plane coming to Miami.
Right.
And so he said he'd call me on the plane. And I was thinking, dang, what kind of plane is this?
Right.
Huh? The Wi-Fi must be strong.
I think it's probably pretty good. That's a safe bet.
Yeah, so FaceTimed on the plane, got to talk to him. I was telling him how excited I am. And that was really the first, interaction that I got with Coach, aside from texting. I thought he was a pretty unique personality when I first heard him speak and talk, because that's not one that I've ever witnessed.
Yeah,
right.
Especially,
I think for all of us, yeah.
Especially, him being the head man. He's so optimistic. He's so positive. but just kind of getting those glimpses of our conversation of who he is as a person.
Yeah.
And then, just not even really talking football for the most part. I guess towards, or whatever was shown, it was obviously, get excited about the season.
Sure.
But man, he's such a person that you can relate to in a lot of things.
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, he makes it comfortable for you to share too. So
Great.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that is cool, man. Not only do you have a new head man, though, but it seems like you got a whole new offensive staff in general. And I was looking at this, and me and Seth were talking about it, but it seems like you've had 6 different offensive coordinators in the last 6 years. How the hell are you able to maneuver around that, man? How are you able to be the best you can be in all those situations, and how challenging has that been, first and foremost?
Yeah, it's been challenging, but I think it's football. At the end of the day, it's football. Everyone has their own terminology of what they call a post, what they call a corner. At the end of the day, you find out what that terminology is. You get whatever it was prior out of your head, and you just try to master what the verbiage is in that system. And really, that's all you can do. You just got to do the best that you can, and a lot of reps.
Yeah.
A lot of reps.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's our job too, right? I mean, we sit there and look at a lot of film, and we're studying a lot. People don't understand a lot of times we're in that classroom in those books more than we're out there on the football field.
Yeah, no doubt. You're definitely spending more time watching film, getting with different groups of positions to talk and break down some things. Practice is really just implementing what we just seen and what we just talked about in the classroom out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then you're literally right back into the classroom watching all of that and correcting, all of those things. So definitely right. You're spending more time, talking to each other in the classroom than you are out there working.
Yeah. And not only do you have the interaction with Coach McDaniel, but Frank Smith, new OC, Darrell Bevell, how's that interaction been with those guys as well? We're talking about new guys on the offensive staff.
Yeah, I think Coach McDaniel's has done a great job, not just with his staff, but with everyone that surrounds our organizations, with the new players that we've got as well, with the guys that we've kept, the guys that, like I said, acquired.
We're going to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, everyone in this building, everyone's optimistic, but everyone has, a high amount of character, I would say, within the building. And I think that says a lot about, Coach McDaniel. It says a lot about Chris Greer with, the communication between Coach and Chris. But yeah, I mean, it's an environment where, guys want to come into work, and guys are excited to come into work, to be able to work with one another and to be able to work, with Coach.
So, and not to harp on this, but go back to the 6 OCs in 6 years, and obviously a lot of that was before you even were a professional football player. But I wonder if, I don't know what your vision was for what your pro career would look like when you started to focus on those things, but I wonder if maybe it's gone a little differently than what you had drawn up prior to getting in Miami and becoming a pro. And look, that's the way life is, right? We don't control all of those things, but there seems to be at times some noise that kind of surrounds you in some way, shape, or form. How do you manage that? Is that something that you carry with you? Do you walk into this season carrying that noise, or do you feel like, you know what, it's a new year, it's a fresh start, it's a clean slate, and let's go do what we got to do?
Yeah, my entire life, I would say there's been noise, and not specifically media,
right.
But for me, the noise has been, my dad, and really that's what it is. And what I mean by that is, my dad is my biggest critic, aside from me. And my dad is gonna shoot it straight. If that was the worst thing ever, that was the worst thing ever. Whereas a lot of my other family members would tell me, like, you're the best.
Right.
Like there's no one better than you, this and that. My dad would tell me, that's just not good enough. That's never good enough. And that's kind of how it was growing up. And when I came into Alabama and then, ended up coming into the national championship game and we won, I always remember my dad telling me, like, act like you've been there before.
Yeah.
And I know we've all heard that thing,
Sure.
act like you've been there before.
Easy to say.
Of course,
Right.
of course. And so I don't know if you can recall, but when we did win, I think I was probably the only one not celebrating as much as I probably should have, because I had that running in my head, like,
Dad
act
was
like
in
you've
your
been
ear.
here before. So like, fine, everyone just, hey, good game, good job. And like, just wait to talk to the media.
Wow.
But I was dying inside. I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to celebrate. But yeah, I was like, man, that's super exciting. And so, just coming back to your question with the media and, all of the outside noise, shoot, it's one of those things where I fall back to act like I've been here before. So obviously this is new territory for me because at Alabama, their fans are all, always uplifting and whatnot. But within the NFL, it's not just our fans that we have trying to support us, but it's just everyone else outside watching, other teams' fans. So act like you've been there before.
I love it.
That's how you handle it.
Yeah. Speaking of noise, man, this team has made so much noise this offseason. Some serious,
it's the right kind of noise.
Offensive noise. That's what I love. You know what I mean? I know you like that as well. So tell me what was going through your mind when you're like, say you're in your backyard, hitting some golf balls into the lake, and your phone starts buzzing. And your phone is buzzing, and you look up, and we got Chase Edmonds. Mm-hmm. And then, it's buzzing again, and we look up and we got Cedric Wilson. Raheem Mostert, and then so on and so forth, man. We signed Gesicki back. Mm-hmm. It just kept going and going, man. And then, you got Teron Armstead, and then, of course, we get Tyreek Hill. What was your reaction when all this great action was happening around you, especially on our side of the football?
Our side of the football.
Yeah, our side of the
He's
football.
ready to go in a huddle with you right now, it sounds like, to him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the only word that can describe that is exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting times for all of us, but we know that aside from the guys that we've acquired, it's gonna take work for all of us. And it's gonna take work. We're gonna have to continue to build relationships with each other, not only on the field, but off the field. And we gotta do the most important thing as to why we're here, and that's win games.
That's right.
So, and when I hear you say that, and I guess in some ways you may have just answered this question, but with all that excitement, of course, the noise, there's the counter narrative like, well, okay, now, look at all these weapons. Tua has to go off. Like, of course he's going to go off here. Does that add a layer of pressure? Do you feel that as pressure, or do you look at that as like, yo, this is opportunity? Like, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think pressure is everywhere, especially in our industry,
Sure.
Or any professional industry. Pressure's just there. But, it's one of those things where you're either going to make use of this opportunity, with the guys that we have, or you're not. And that's what it is. And so for me, I'm looking forward to making use of this opportunity.
The quarterback position, to be the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, like it's a pretty cool gig. That's it. So what if in the few years that you've been holding that position, what's the best part of being the starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins?
It's a lot easier to make friends.
Yeah.
You didn't have trouble making friends. Come on, Tua.
It's a lot easier making friends. No, but I would say probably one of the best parts about being the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins is being able to help, others that, when they say they kind of need your help, you're able to do so for them in ways that I guess others can't. meaning, you're able to call people and ask them, if you can if they can do a favor for you, and
got a little circle of influence there.
Yeah, and you can help others through that.
When I think of quarterback, man, I think of leadership, leader of the offense, leader of the team, pretty much leader of the organization, man. What does leadership mean to Tua? What does that mean to you, boss?
I think leadership to me means helping the guys around you get better, and whatever that entails, whether it's spending time with one individual guy or spending time with, everyone together, inside the building or outside the building. But however you're doing that to help, grow with the guys around you, I think that's what leadership means.
You buying in?
I'm buying in for sure.
You ready to go?
I'm buying in, definitely buying in on
Good
that
stuff.
one, man.
Well, we're talking about a lot, obviously, about the quarterback position and leadership. There's a guy that you have gotten to know who knows a thing or two about being the quarterback here, and that's Dan Marino. Mm-hmm. As Drew said, we loved being at the event. But I thought one of the real magical things, first of all, we all saw the video of your reaction, right? You're doing media and Dan comes along, hey, that's Dan Marino, which was fabulous. But what I really loved was the story you told when you were up on stage, and you talked about how you got there, your first year, and Dan's sitting in meetings, and you're like, is this a normal thing?
Yeah.
Which, you came to find out that there's nothing normal about
Yeah.
that. But what has that relationship been like? How meaningful has it been for you to step into this position and have that guy there and I don't know what that relationship is, but as a sounding board or somebody just to pick his brain, what has that meant?
It's extremely meaningful. And it means a lot, because for someone like Dan to be sitting in our meetings, and this is from my rookie season and my rookie year when I first got here, it tells you a lot about, I guess, Dan as a person as well. Because Dan knows who he is. I mean, come on,
He definitely
you got
does.
Dan Marino Boulevard or whatever that thing is.
There's a statue when he comes into work.
I mean, Dan knows who he is. And so for him to just, sit down in our meetings, kind of stop the tape and kind of tell us what his experiences were, with this guy, and a couple of the other guys that he's had. He shares those things, and success leaves footprints, and regardless of how much the game has changed, it's still football at the end of the day. And so, for Dan to be able to help us, not just me, but all the guys in the room, learn and grow, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is, man. And I'm glad he talks about me still a little bit. You know what I mean? Brings my
says
name
good
up on
things,
occasion,
right?
Yeah, good stuff. You talked a little bit about your dad earlier, man, and I know for a fact how important family is to you. I saw it at the luau, and we've all seen it just reading up and doing stuff with you, man. I just love it. I think family is the most important thing, especially in good times, bad, no matter what. You always have your family to lean on, man. Talk a little bit about, how and why you guys are such a close-knit family. I know you guys love music. You guys do a lot of things together, man. Talk about, that family bond that you're so proud of, but I think it's probably one of the most important things in your life.
Really, I just grew up that way. I grew up seeing my dad around all his siblings a lot of the times, and I grew up with a lot of my first cousins. I seen my mom with her family. My mom has 8 brothers and 1 sister, and my mom is the oldest out of them, so there's 10. And then my dad has 6 sisters, 2 brothers. So we come from a big family, and it's kind of hard not to, I guess, be a family guy with that many people.
Yeah.
So many cousins. But it's just something that I grew up with, that I just seen, and when I'd have fights with my little brother growing up, we'd have our talks with our dad. Our dad would sit us down and tell us that we're all we got, you know, and you know, one day you guys are gonna realize what I'm saying, and now that we're older, it's, I don't know, all those moments of fighting, all those moments of the talks that we've had with our dad, you know, has really grown us.
When did that click
get
to it? When he
closer.
says one day, and you know, and it's what I'm hearing from you now that you're older, you do realize that. But when did that click? When was that shift from two brothers just fighting like brothers do to, wow, all these things that Dad said are coming to fruition?
Yeah, I would say when I left to college, and I was by myself in Alabama, and I had no one else. I had no one else up there. And so, you know, my dad wanted to move to Alabama to be closer to me. My brother wanted to come up there as well. And then when they were able to move out and come up to Alabama, you know, just being able to see my brother, see my sisters, and see my family again, you really take those things for granted. It's I don't know, it's crazy how, like, you get so excited. You're like, man, you know, I'm excited to see, you know, what's new now that I've never seen. And then you realize, like, you know, none of this really matters without, you know, the people that
foundation.
Yeah, without the people, you know, that kind of helped you get to where you're at. So
Yeah. And your love for music, real quick. You know what I mean? I see you strumming the guitar. I think we had Raekwon on talking about you and a ukulele, maybe.
Yeah, he's
you know,
staring
so
at you, right?
Yeah, what about your love for music?
yeah, I love music. Grew up with music. All of us grew up in choir in church, but yeah, I can play some piano. I can play the guitar. I can play the ukulele. I can play the bass. But the terrible thing about it is I don't know music. Like I don't know
Like
Reading
modern
it,
music?
reading it.
Or
I can't read
you
music.
read
I
music.
can't.
So you just play?
Yeah, just play by ear. So
That's talent. That's talent right
Yeah,
there.
that doesn't sound terrible to me.
No, right.
Could you play an instrument?
Oh, no, not anymore.
gotta go-
No, not anymore.
Not at all. I
yeah,
can't either.
I think I get it from my mom's side though, because my mom plays the piano, and all my mom's brothers are musically inclined.
So self-taught, like the
Yeah, self-taught.
Wow.
And my dad is the only one. Sorry, Dad. My dad's the only one that doesn't know how to play an instrument.
Act like you've been there,
in our family. So my mom, my sisters, my little brother, and me, we play instruments.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we may need to get with Tua. I mean, I love our theme song, the Solo D theme song,
Right.
but you know, we might have to talk to Tua
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
coming up with a little
remix.
A little remix.
There
We'll
you
have to get with you on that. So I know your time is limited here as you're preparing for the season, but the last question I have is kind of where we started was, you know, we raved about the Luau event and how special it was. And the Hard Rock is such an amazing partner. I run Jason Taylor's foundation. They've been so supportive of the work that we do, and it was beautiful. But once you get past that kind of veneer of a pretty event, talk about the work, man. Talk about the foundation and why it's so important to you just to create a foundation at such a young stage of your career and to give back. Why is that so just so ingrained in who you are?
Yeah, it's extremely important to me because growing up, I've seen that too from my family. I've seen my parents give back, and it's not just giving back to the community that I've seen. It's giving back to help out, you know, with funds for, you know, their parents, giving back to their siblings, you know, who their kids needed, you know, some help with things. And you know, for me, I always told myself, if I'm able to do something to help, you know, give back, you know, I wanted to do it. And you know, I'm obviously very fortunate to be able to help give back to the places that have helped me get to where I'm at, and that's Hawaii, Alabama, and now here in South Florida, Miami.
Well, I imagine there's going to be some great things to come. It was said OJ and I spent a lot of time doing community work, and so it was. First of all, it was nice to be in an event that we didn't have to run.
Right.
So appreciate you doing all
Loved
that
it.
work.
Loved it.
But it really was special. So, you know, hopefully we can continue to see the things that you do.
Thank you, guys.
Great stuff. Well, excitement was, I think, the theme of this
Yeah,
interview. We were
absolutely.
excited to have you in here, and I love to hear how excited you are for this season, and we can't wait to just see it materialize. And hopefully you are now excited to have made your appearance in the fish tank.
That's right.
There it
that's
is.
right.
We'll take it. We'll take
Hey,
it.
thanks for diving into it.
Thank you, guys.